How you guys doing? This is George over at Wicked Warnings, your number one source for construction and emergency safety and strobe lighting equipment for cars, vans, buses, bicycles, tricycles. Nice brand new 2021 Ford Super Duties, like what we're looking at right now. This is a rather nice, clean, white Ford Super Duty for a local logistics company. They're in the business of hauling fuels, keeping everybody moving. So we needed to get some warning on this customer's truck. We worked together with him on his plan to develop a package exactly the way he wanted it. What you're looking at right now is that auxiliary switch 1 is activated, and that is running his auto flasher kit by Wicked Warnings on his DRL lights. Now, it's a no-cut kit for the DRL on the 2020 and newer Super Duties. All you do is swap a wire in the factory connector. I give you full instructions on how to do it, and all the wiring you needed is included in the kit. The approximate time to install the kit you're looking at right now is under an hour if you have the auxiliary switches, which I have not seen a truck yet have the nice headlights with the C-rings like this and not have auxiliary switches. All of your installation is done right under the hood. You access the back of the headlights through the fender wells. So it's a very easy, very quick, simple install without cutting any factory wires. Again, no cut on what you're witnessing. That's auxiliary switch 1 on this particular build. Let me go ahead and turn on auxiliary switch 2 and show you what that adds to the system. So basically, aux 1 and aux 2 are front warning. I've labeled aux 1 head flash, and I've labeled aux 2 front flash. Auxiliary 2 adds in the 4 LIN-8. That's our LIN 8 by Wicked Warnings LEDs that are mounted in the grille. It also adds in the cab clearance auto flasher kit that's running the 5 lights on the roof, as well as the white mirror spotlight auto flasher kit that's running the white spotlights on the mirrors. Both of those are also available at wickedwarnings.com with everything else you see here, and there'll be links listed in the description for all these products. The cab clearance lights installs very easily in the passenger A-pillar right behind that grab bar right there. And if you want, you can even drop the headliner down a little, and if you want to alternate the roof lights, you can. We prefer to just flash them together as one, as you see here. I personally think that that gives you the brightest, boldest effect, and it's a very fast install right here in the A-pillar. The white mirror lights are available in a couple of different configurations, and they install right underneath the dashboard, right underneath the steering wheel. The white mirror spotlights is a quick installation right under the steering wheel. I would say approximately under an hour as well. So both the roof lights and the mirror lights and those headlights are a fairly easy installation and are producing what you see via the Wicked Warnings Auto Flasher module. There's a lot of details on that on the website, and we'll link you to that. So this is aux 1 and aux 2. I almost forgot to show you what aux 4 does. Aux 4 is labeled front flood. And what we did is we flooded the LIN 8s in the grille as well as the auto flasher on the white mirror lights. Now that works with or without the warning. As you can see here, if you just wanted some more forward lighting, you can flood the 4 LIN 8s in the grille, and you can also flood the auto flasher on the white mirror lights. We do not recommend flood use on the C-rings with the auto flasher. At this time, it's just not recommended. So as far as wiring on the front of the truck, in this bundle, we're going to provide you with 25 feet of the 22-5 power control wire. That's going to allow you to extend all of these LIN 8s up into your auxiliary switch right here. Okay, so that'll take care of the front of the truck. And let me show you what we have on the side. Alrighty, around the side of the truck, on auxiliary 3, marked rear flash, we have our Thin-X LED mounted in those fender badges, which I have a very good video on how to do that install we'll link to. Possibly right up here, maybe I'm touching it. We might link to that. And those are an amber white light. You can select amber or white or an amber white combination, as you see here. On the back end, right underneath the side tail light there, is our LIN 8, the very same light we used in the grill. That's also a selectable light. You could flash that amber or white or a combination that you see here. And both of those lights also have the flood feature enabled as well. So you can see here we have another auxiliary switch labeled rear flood, and that floods the Thin-X that are in the badges, the Lin 8 that are underneath the tails, those both primarily facing sideways and sideways backwards like the badge, and it also floods a few things around the back. Just another quick note about the wiring of those badges. Those were also extended with a 22-5 wire. The Thin-X badge is actually a 6 wire, but you don't need all 6 wires if you're going to use both colors. So we're going to spec this package with a 22-5. If you want an alternate wire, you can feel free to order a 22-6 or an 18-6 on your own. But this package is going to come with what we used, which is an additional 25 feet of 22-5 to run those badges. And there'll be a little bit left over to extend your Lin 8 back here from where it's mounted up to the main connection point behind the tail light. So you'll have 50 feet of total 22-5, and that'll be running your Lin 8s in the grill, your Thin-X in the badges, and your Lin 8s behind the rear tails. Here's a little better shot of the back corner of the truck. Can you see them yet? Did you notice them under here? We've got some Thin-X strips right underneath the tailgate that I haven't shown you yet. We also have our auto flasher module kit on the cargo and the reverse. The cargo auto flasher module kit is a fairly easy install. You mount the module under the dashboard or out at, I usually mount them under the dashboard, and you interrupt the cargo wire. I like to interrupt it right on the passenger sill area. I like that because it allows us to also flash this little keyhole light right here that I'm pointing to on the tailgate. So by interrupting it there, you can flash the keyhole as well. All the instructions are included, so feel free. You have no worries about the auto flasher kits. We try to give you all the information. As far as the reverse auto flasher kit here, that's going to be a no-cut install, just like the front. It is a pin swap install. You're not cutting your reverse wire. You're simply sliding it out of the connector and sliding in our Wicked Warnings wire to replace it, and then putting the connector back on the light. You'll then take the wire that you slid out of the connector, connect it to our other Wicked Warnings wire, and your installation is complete. You will need to run the module. We stick the modules, we mount them behind the passenger tail light, and we run the 18.5 included wire from there all the way forward to the auxiliary switches. That's our recommended procedure, and all that wiring is included for that kit right there, as well as all the wiring is included for the kit for the cargo above it. Alrighty, now with the flood disabled, I can give you a little bit clearer picture of the side rear warning. You can really see how bold those badges are. They mount at approximately a 45-degree angle on the inside mesh of that badge, so it really does kick back here to the rear very well. And our Lin 8, as you can see underneath the tail, that's running a linear lens, which puts out almost 180 degrees of usable light. So when you really get off axis past 90 degrees, it stays bright. It's not one of those LEDs where it's only bright if it's pointed right at your eye. These LEDs continue to stay bright all around the radius, which is extremely important for proper warning. Alrighty, so here's the straight reverse shot, straight back shot right now. You can see we're running our 15.5 Thin-X strip. This particular client, again, spec'd out everything just kind of how he wanted it, and this is exactly what we landed on. Above it, the auto flasher kit running the factory reverse LEDs. Of course, no worries about those reverse LEDs working normally. When the kit is off, you have absolutely no interruption of the factory function. Any of your factory lights, like that cargo light up there, or these reverse lights, they're all going to work normal when you turn the switch off, everything returns to normal. Now those strips underneath the tailgate, we mounted those with our VHB tape that is included on this strip, and we also used our Primer 94. So there will be a packet of Primer 94 included in this bundle. That way you can clean that surface appropriately. And I will be honest, I'm not going to lie, I put a little bit of RTV silicone on the ends of the strip, kind of where the 3M isn't. I just put a little bit of RTV to kind of help it stick and lock in place. But it is very, very important to clean it with the Primer 94. I think I also have a video possibly on how to mount those that we might be able to link as far as mounting, but it's fairly simple. The biggest thing is to step back and look at them and make sure that you're not, you know, like this with your strips when you step back. You want them nice and straight. So right on. Yeah, a little better shot here. Now, as far as the wiring around the rear of this, here's how I'm going to advise you do this bundle, because this is how I did it with this truck. With the reverse auto flasher kit, you're included an 18.5 power control. That's to extend the auto flasher module all the way forward and the auto flasher functions all the way forward. It has a power and a ground on it, which we're using also to trigger the power and ground for the strips as well as the Lin 8. So as far as the strips underneath, you can extend those with the 22-5 as well. The same 22.5 you use for your Lin 8s. Yeah, the strips have a pretty decent wire on them already, so you don't need much. And you're gonna basically extend all 4 of those light heads, your Lin 8s and your strips, to behind the rear tail light here. And at that point, you'll make your synchronization connection for your strips if you want them to sync the way mine are. There's no need to synchronize the Lin 8, but if you want to, you could. And you'll connect up also your flood. Okay. Now, we elected on this build not to flood the WAF module, the auto flasher module, on the reverse. The reason I didn't flood it is because I wanted to leave him some high and some low warning while he was in flood mode. He definitely wanted the flood on the strip. We definitely wanted the flood on these Lin 8s for the side back area here. And what we were left with was basically to not flood the reverse and the cargo, which gives him a good high-low warning in the back if he happens to use flood and warning at the same time, which sometimes does happen. So what that means is the 18.5 extension wire for the reverse auto flasher kit. We're using the white wire in the 18.5, but we're actually not connecting it to the auto flasher. We're connecting it to the 4 light heads for flood. The auto flasher white flood was left unconnected and weather protected. So that's how we got this display with the 18.5 included wire with a little bit of 22.5 extension for the additional light heads. And that's what's going to be included in the kit. I think the 50 feet of 22.5 is going to do you just fine for all of your mounting, and the auto flasher kits have all the wiring that they need already included. And feel free, if you want to modify this a little to your own taste, you can. This is not a chiseled in stone requirement that you copy everything I did. You can feel free to modify it and suit your own tastes as needed. And if you're still with me at 1327, I appreciate it. Drop a comment. I know the videos get long, but I really want to show you guys everything you need to see. And I think here's the last thing that I'm pretty proud of. I'm a little picky, so I like to make nice, clean labels. And I really dig the new Dymo labeler that I have. And I got some black tape for it with white lettering. And I really like that. And you can see here, this is kind of what we broke it up for this particular build. You know, obviously Auxiliary 6 is a work in progress. We haven't perfected that mechanism yet, but stay tuned. That might be something we release fairly soon. And thanks again for watching Wicked Warnings. Make sure you check the description. I'm going to have good detail on all of the stuff we talked about at the end of the video. There are other videos linked to help you see the grill and to see the badges and all that other good stuff. So thanks again for watching Wicked Warnings. I hope you enjoy this bundle. Hope it has everything you need in it. And have a good one. We'll see you on the next video.